Morning to you viewers, the Colonel speaking to you live from the Lay Rectory. I have remembered this time for British Imperial YouTube Broadcasting, and we're here with the Squire. Good morning, Squire. How are you today?
Not too bad, thank you.
Wonderful.
I have felt better, but no, maybe it'll be okay. Nice to see you all.
You've got an interesting machine to show us. It's not got a handle on it, I see.
No, this is actually my most recent acquisition. I recently purchased this off of eBay, and it's a yeah, shove the biscuit.
That's a mysteriously full packet there, Squire. We'll soon make that disappear.
Happens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
hey, Presta.
Yeah. Well, this one probably was designed for schools or some kind of a large building. It's a record player, and absolutely superb quality.
Yes.
Look at the thickness of wood on that cabinet. It's
It's solid, isn't it?
Really solidly built.
There seems to be instructions.
Instruction
The
card.
book of instructions is in the back there.
Now what you've got here, you've got a loudspeaker in the front.
Yes.
And there's an extension loudspeaker socket on the back.
Right.
But if you plugged an ordinary speaker into that, you'd probably blow it up.
Oh.
Because this is actually a 100 volt line.
Good Lord.
So that would run say 10 or 15 speakers in a building.
Right, so a school is not a bad guess.
No, it's something like that, but it's magnificent quality. I've never seen. I've got one other school's model I'm restoring, but I've managed to get this one up to full order now. And I thought we'd just play a record on it.
What a good idea. And where did you get it from, if I might ask?
I bought it off of eBay.
How much was it, may we ask?
I think it was with postage, probably less than £50.
Amazing.
Yeah. Yes, it's was it BRW or something? I can't remember the maker's name of it. BRW.
BRW, yes.
Yes, so it's good quality. Quite a nice quality Calaro turntable of the time, late 50s Calaro turntable.
Oh yeah, 3-speed of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
So, and what date again? I missed that.
I would have said late 50s, early 60s.
Right.
I'm not quite sure how long this is one of the Calaros, which has got a much heavier turntable. It's almost getting towards a transcription turntable.
Right.
They did a bigger one with a 12-inch turntable and a cream motorboard.
Right, so you're going to play this record, but we won't tell everybody what it is. They've got to guess who's playing this record. I haven't got a copy of this. We'll rest you down on here. Well, there we are, viewers. What did you think of that? I thought it was fantastic, but who was playing on the record? Perhaps the Squire will edge towards it and tell us.
Well, that was one of the sort of old-time dance series of records. That's Harry Davidson and his orchestra.
Oh dear.
It's the Teddy Bear's Picnic in the arrangement for the Eva Three Step.
What's the record number, please?
DX1257.
Well, there we are. You see, many years ago, viewers used to find hundreds of Harry Davidson records, and they all went in the bin. But now I feel like I ought to be collecting them. But that was a great one. I've never seen that particular version before.
Nor have I. No. Well, with these Harry Davidson ones, some of them are a bit lengthy, because they're over 2 or 3 sides, but you do get some old-fashioned tunes, some well-known ones, played very well.
Got a few more there, haven't you?
Yeah, I have actually, yes. Yeah.
You seem to find some very interesting records. I don't know quite how you do it. But did you hear the quality of sound, viewers? What an amazing machine. Almost no surface noise there.
Very little surface noise. I only finished overhauling this one yesterday.
Right.
I had it come in, I think it arrived at the end of last week, and I just had to overhaul the turntable a bit. It could really do with a new idler wheel. I have to see if I can get one, if there are any around. But I put another cartridge in because it had got a stereo only cartridge. I've got a mono turnover pickup in there, so I can play 78 sound LPs.
Well, that's very useful, isn't it?
Calaro,
Calaro, of course, yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, on the whole, an interesting item.
You've got another record there. Are you going to play that for us?
Yes, indeed.
Looks like a Brunswick.
This is what it actually sounds like on a pre-electric one.
Oh.
I suppose it's about 1923. Brunswick. It's Bernie Kreuger's orchestra. That's an American recording. Bernie Kreuger's orchestra. Wonder if she's lonely too.
Oh, that sounds good. And again, almost no surface noise.
No, it suits them very well for some reason.
Well, you can't complain at that.
No,
That's wonderful.
Can't. No. I mean, those Brunswick records were usually very well recorded for their time. They were excellent as a rule. They need handling a bit different. See, the thing is, what one has to remember is all these companies had different recording characteristics.
Yes.
So what setting you have for one doesn't necessarily suit another.
No, quite so.
See, when it got to the 1950s, when there were LPs, that was even worse, because the American recordings had a totally different characteristic to the British ones. And if you played it with the wrong setting, they were dreadful.
Well, on the back of some of these sort of earlier LPs, you see these sort of printed dials where you can mark your settings on your stereo system.
Oh, absolutely, yes, indeed. That's
for playing the record.
Yes, that's right.
It's funny playing that record. I bought a set of CDs off the internet, thanks to Rob's video the other week, where they were playing, I don't know, Aaron Aardvark or someone. Let's Misbehave. I can't remember who the bloke was. I ordered a set of CDs off the internet. There were 4 CDs for about £4 or something, and called the Roaring Twenties. And I've been listening to those coming over here, so I'm very much in the mood for this. All sorts of stuff I wouldn't normally listen to. But getting out of North Oxford is quite tricky these days. I was sort of 3/4 of an hour in traffic to get from where I am. The queues were out to Yarnton one way and up to the A40, so I had a good long chance to listen to CDs of this sort of music. But it was, slightly better because it's been processed, but this thing is wonderful. It's a wonderful quality of sound.
Yes, it certainly is very good. It certainly, the response is quite closely suits the records, whether they're electric or acoustic on this one.
And
it's only a straightforward BSR crystal cartridge.
Yeah, and what sort of mechanics are inside? Is it valve driven?
It is valve, yes. It's a 4-valve amplifier, so it's got push-pull outputs. It's probably about 10 watts, I should think.
That's incredible for something this size, isn't it?
Had to drive quite, it was driving quite, in the school it would have been probably driving quite a few speakers, but you see, if you collected a lot of speakers in different rooms, up to an ordinary loudspeaker socket, you get some sound out of the first ones, but the one at the end of the line you wouldn't hear anything out because of the resistance of the non-lead.
Right.
So what they use is a high voltage to drive it through.
Yes.
Then you have a transformer on each of the loudspeaker in the rooms that you have to set the tappings, set the volume level for that room.
Well, how interesting.
Yeah. But it's a lovely thing, and I've seen other schools models, but I haven't seen that one. And as I say, it's in lovely condition, and I've seen incredibly.
It is. It's really nice.
Quality. When you lift that lid, you feel what that lid's like.
Oh yes. That is heavy.
I mean, that is a solid piece of
solid bit of blockboard, isn't it, or whatever? And what sort of veneer is this? Peely or?
It looks like it. Yes, something like that.
Yeah, but in absolutely superb condition. To buy something of that quality for under £50, including postage, is pretty astonishing.
I know, that's right.
I wonder if you wouldn't mind later in the week. I know you're coming to dinner because we've got that pop person who we won't name.
Right.
Is coming to have a look at the centenary. Boat race portable, and I wonder if you wouldn't mind bringing this along. I think he'd be astonished to hear the quality that was available in what you're saying, the late 50s, early 60s.
Well, things really did get good then. I mean, there was.
Well, obviously this was built for a purpose, so it had to be super quality.
Right. But you see, the point is, when this was built, they were probably still selling 78s, and of course the schools had been stacked up with them, so they designed the equipment.
Donated by grateful parents or ungrateful parents, I don't know.
And of course some of the HMV ones, some of the HMV record players in the 50s, they were 3 speeds, and if you set it on 78, you got one setting, and as you moved it round, it changed the equalisation for the different records when you changed speed.
I see, that's very clever.
On some of them, they have that often on the little radiograms with those tiny turntables.
Ah, yes.
They had a waver switch, and as you change the speed, it changed the characteristic.
It's a pity this hasn't got adjustable speed, but other than that, it's absolutely perfect, isn't it?
Well, the point is, at the time, you just wouldn't have got that unless you had a Garrard, something like a Garrard 301 or a Goldring Lenko. and that would be very, very high spec for a school.
Exactly. They needed just something to sort of make announcements on and play a few
And at that
miserable records at my school.
time, I mean, there were the three set speeds, and that was it really. It's only really when it comes to collectors of earlier records that you need variable speed. And you do need it, I agree, but certainly not for something like that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you very much for showing us this. If you wouldn't mind bringing that on later in the week when we're meeting up. But
okay.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much for showing us that. I bet you're jolly pleased to have bought this.
Yes, indeed.
And hopefully we'll meet soon, viewers. Thank you, viewers, and goodbye.